Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Nellie and Ruth Designs. This is week 21 in the Margarete Miller Collage Weekly Planner. And this is a redo. I'm embarrassed to say I had created my collage and I didn't like it at all. I was rushed. I have a lot going on here at my home. And after I looked at it, I'm like, nah, can't do it. Can't do it. And then I thought, well, I'm not even going to do a collage for this week. And then I thought, I have the whole week. What am I thinking? Duh. So I came up with some new images. I had a nice cup of coffee this morning. It's Sunday morning here. It's a glorious morning. Looks like we may get a little bit of rain, but that's okay. We are forced inside because the Adirondack spring has taken over with the mosquitoes and black flies. So it's really hard to be outside gardening or doing anything right now. You literally have to wear full body armor to combat the mosquitoes. So I'm going to work on my collage. I hope you join in with me. I hope that you're all well, everyone's well. And a welcome to my new subscribers. If you've stumbled upon me and you want to see what I'm all about, I'd love to have you stick around and go back and look at some of my previous crafting videos. I think you'll like them. And for all my returning viewers, thank you. You are very much appreciated. And if I don't say that one week, just mark in your head that, yes, she appreciates me, she loves me, and just continue to watch, comment, like, and subscribe. All right, so this week, Marguerite has chosen a window or door, something stenciled, blue ink, a musical instrument, a postage stamp, which I haven't gotten yet. I forgot about that. I'm going to run and grab one right now. Bonus brown or craft paper, that will not be used in this. So let me just go grab a postage stamp now, and I'll be right back. All right, so I have my postage stamp. I am going to use this one right here. I think you can see it okay. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is I have my papers here. I'll show you what I have chosen. I've chosen this here, this lovely lady. This is Ellie Sue. She's a violinist, and Florian Leonard, is that how you say it? Leonard, violin maker. So I'm going to use this image here. You can see she's holding the violin, and I would love to incorporate this very handsome gentleman right here in my collage. And then I have, for a window or door, I have this window with the very cool, like a Venetian blind on here. And I'm going to take you through my thought process. I want to start doing that more with my collage work to let you know how I think, what's possible, if you can see it two different ways. And I think it might help you when you start collaging, or if you're collaging at this time in your little crafting world, and you're just not sure how to use some of these things, how to go about it. So I wanted, if I can, when I have an opportunity to teach and share, which, I mean, that's my goal. That's what I want to do. I want to help everybody. So this here is my page. Now you can see here where I had my other collage. And this is why I don't glue. If I have a large piece of paper, I don't glue it all down because it's much easier to rip off and start new. So this is my thought process. This is my other musical instrument, this beautiful Steinway and Sons grand piano. When I was looking through my magazines, hubby was actually helping me this morning, because I kept saying, there's got to be a musical instrument. There's got to be a musical instrument in one of these Rob reports. And he saw this first, and there was one in the magazine I had. Now, you could go about this two ways. You could use this entire background piece as your door and something, a musical instrument, because you do have a door here. However, it would be okay, but it really wouldn't be that interesting. And with your collage work, you like to layer and bring some depth or interest, and I'm really getting into these surreal collages. Unfortunately, I could make this into a really cool surreal collage, and I think I will pull this at one point, and we can work on that together. So you could use this as a background piece. You have your two prompts in here. You have the door and you have a musical instrument. The other way you could use it, if you did not want to use all of this, but you wanted to use something for a musical instrument, this is a screen. It looks like a painting, but you can see here she has the same on her, it looks like a tablet, or this looks like an iPad, and it's probably projecting up on here. So you can see her in her short red dress playing the piano, where she's probably pounding away like Jerry Lee Lewis on a Steinway. This here, she has her long, beautiful satin red dress on for the violin. I'm not saying these are the same two. I'm saying these are the same two gals in my collage. So you could just cut this out and use it somewhere in a collage. So that's one thing that you could do. Now, my idea with the blinds. Okay, now here's another way that you can look at this. All right, this here could be your backdrop. All right, which is it's a wonderful backdrop, and I really like the weaving, which I did. This is pictorial weaving, and Jane Chip. Where is my Elizabeth? Jane Chip does the, oh great, I've got a spider on my desk. Just bear with me. Let me get a tissue. I'll be right back. Nah, I got him. Oh, I hate spiders. Oh God, I had one crawling right up by my book. I don't know where the heck he came from. So getting back to this, I do like the weaving. This is my yo-yo journal. And this is where I took two, this was inspired by Jane Chip, and I took two photos of Queen Elizabeth, and then I have a video on this, you weave all of the photo together. So that's what I thought when I saw this here. Now you could do this one of two ways. And I might do it like this. I don't know. I just haven't decided yet. You could leave this background here. You could cut this piano out, okay? You cut this all out. And then you could weave it. You could weave it in between these Venetian blinds. I call them Venetian blinds. Slatted blinds, whatever. So you could cut an entire section out, and you could weave that piano, okay, through these blinds. The other thing that you could do, and this is where I'm debating, you could have this as the backdrop. All right. Then you could take this, you could cut this out, which these are going to be cut anyway, all right? Then you could just simply place this over this entire page, and it would look like you're looking through this window into this room. And I have yet to decide which route I'm going to go. So while we're pondering on that, and if anybody has any ideas, please shout them out to me. In the meantime, I have an old pinup girl that I don't like the coloring. I did not set my printer properly. I'm going to be using her. I have another one, but I'm going to be using her in a surreal collage. But I don't throw away my bad papers. I'm going to flip this over, and this calls for some stenciling and blue ink. So I'm going to stencil. I have this really pretty stencil I got at Hobby Lobby. And I have Tim Holtz Stormy Sky. I have my large dauber here. Can't forget my postage stamp. And I'm going to take some of this collage because, again, I have an idea. And I'm going to have to, I'll take a break because I'm going to have to fussy cut this. But I'm going to... And seeing that I'm going to fussy cut it, I don't care if I get ink over here on this side. And I am kind of glad that my other collage did not work out for me at all, because I really like this idea so much better. And I think I can teach you a little bit more on how to look at things. And I think that's really important. I know some people say, well, I'm not that creative, or I don't have that good of an imagination. But I'll tell you, if you start watching, and in one of my other collages, I have on there some gals that I watch. I've posted, especially in the surreal, because like I said, I want to do a little, I'm not a certified surreal collage artist, but I'm getting the hang of it, and I want to share it with you because I do want to tell you that it really isn't that hard if you study other people's work and you watch them. And with surrealism, anything goes. And I just encourage everybody to get out and play and experiment. And if something doesn't work out, like this one collage I did, move on and try, scrap it. Doesn't mean you're a failure. It means that you're learning. If you don't make mistakes, remember, you aren't learning. Okay, so here we have this here. We're going to set this aside. That goes there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fussy cut this. I could cut it with my scissors, but I don't want a lot of the white in there, and I would get too much. I'll do a little bit of cutting with you so you can see how I tackle this. I'll tell you, my boards are getting really cut up and banged up. I think I'm going to need some new boards. So when you use your exact, this is a Fiskars. This is my favorite. I used to have, these are just the plain simple ones. These work really well too, but I just think this one fits a lot better in my hand. It's more comfortable. And always have a sharp blade, because if you don't have a sharp blade, you're not going to get the smooth cut. So just real quick, I'll cut this little one out here, and then I'm going to cut this area here off camera. So you can just watch and see how I make a lot of C curves. And I never try to cut in one fell swoop, all right? So most of unless you're doing a very linear, what do I want to say? A linear image, where it's got a lot of right angles. I just find that the C curves work really well. And I'm going to go even right down in here, because again, I don't want that, I don't want a lot of white to show. And I think if you have a nice X-Acto knife, it makes all the difference in the world. It just makes fussy cutting much nicer. It goes faster. And a lot of times when I fussy cut, there is a YouTube channel that I listen to, and I will tell you what it is. And I always put this on. I'm just getting my phone here. My little subscriptions, all. It's called Open Heart Music, Helios 4K. So it's Open Heart Music, Helios 4K. And what that is, you can, I call it massage music or spa music. And I always pick the music where they have beautiful little birds, songbirds in the background. And I like it because when I put it on my computer, the birds are singing. You know, they actually have all the sweet little songbirds that they've filmed in a tree or whatever, and they're very up close and personal. The photos and images, the videos of the birds. So I have a little bird sanctuary in here, and then I hear the very soothing music, and it just makes it nice. You kind of get lost in your thoughts. All right, so I'm going, so you get the gist of this. So I'm going to excuse myself, and I'm going to finish cutting this, all of this out, and then we'll be back. I have the two floral stamping images cut out. Here they are there. So now I still have not decided. We're going to set these aside and try to decide. I don't know. See, I'm bringing this over here. I just don't know what I want to do. So I'm going to put it off again. I'm going to cut this gal out along with the gentleman here. And I'm just biding my time. You know, it's kind of like when you go to a restaurant and the waitress comes over and she says, "Are you ready to order?" The first thing that comes out of my mouth is, "I'm going to go last." I can never, for the most part, I can decide. However, there's usually always another dish that I'm interested in. And I always, always have my husband, even if we go out as a family, the kids and I, the boys and I, we always have him order first. Because usually what will happen is he will, if he goes last, he always orders something that I've ordered. And I don't think you're supposed to do that, because when you go out with your partner, your husband, aren't you supposed to order separate things so you can eat off of each other's plates, or try the other the other entree maybe that you didn't want to try straight away because you really weren't sure if you were going to like it. And then that way you can see if it's something that you might want to order next time. So I'm not going to be too particular about her head because my postage stamp is going to be going over her face. And this is where I will use my knife so I can get, I just want to make sure that his shoulder stays intact. And when you're cutting on magazine images, just be very careful that you just have the right amount of tension, pressure, because you don't want to rip and tear the paper. It's so very easy to do. When you're using an X-Acto knife, especially on vintage paper. Because the pages are quite old and fragile. Okay. Whoop. All right. And I think she's the perfect size, the perfect proportion to fit on that piano stool. And when you have a small, when you have a, you know, the fine, I say this is a fine detail here. You can use your X-Acto knife on this, but I would have done this first. You don't want to try to use your X-Acto knife when you have something like this hanging out in the wind because you could rip it right off. That's why I'm using my scissors here. Okay, all right, so she is cut out. All right, so let's go back to the main focal point. And still I'm not sure. And she is going to be perfect right here on there like that. So if you were doing, if this was just a collage that you wanted to do, this would be fine, just like this, and then you could build around it. But seeing that we have certain prompts, because this would be a lot of fun. You could have an animal, you know, animal's head coming up over, maybe a giraffe here with his tongue coming down, or I don't know, you could do so many fun things. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these slats, and I think, I don't know, I just don't know. I'm almost tempted to cut the piano out and weave it in through here, because that would just be a really, really cool, different look. All right, so let me cut this out and I shall return. So the next thing I'm going to do, as you can see, I have the piano, it's all cut out. So the next thing I'm going to do is, if I'm going to weave this through these blinds, I'm going to want to decide how far I have to make my slits, okay? Now, you could, if you wanted to, you could take out the entire center image, which I may just do, and just leave the slats. Leave your photo, your picture, everything else that you have. Just, I would cut enough. So I'm going to mark this. So you're going to want to just mark enough, like I said. And you're also going to want to decide how far up you want it. So if I measure it for here and I cut this slat out, you're going to have to decide, am I going to want these over it or under it, behind it? I guess you can figure that out once you start. So I'm going to say, all I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little mark where the piano is right here. And this is going to help me decide how far I need to come over with the slats. Hopefully I can see this. All right, I'm not going to cut this part out here. I will start here, and I do have, you can see my line. So I know this seems tedious work, but I think it goes quite quickly, quite fast. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I have my head wrapped around this. And I'm going to cut a little bit just beyond, because remember, you have to fit that piano around here. I'm going to just bring this back to right here. This one I will bring, because it comes in. This one I will come back to here. And I am going all the way to the end. I don't know if I'm making a mistake by doing that. No, that's fine. I have to bring it all the way back to the end. This, however, where the piano is, I'll take that all the way back to the end as well. Maybe I won't. I think I'll stop right about here. And if I don't like the way that looks, then I will just take it out. And do I need to go back? Yes, right down to this one. Okay. Right down to this one. I'm not going to go all the way back to this one, all the way to the end. All right, so I'll go right to there. So now we're going to flip it. And am I still in view? Yeah. So now, I guess I won't go back this way. I'm going to lift to see where I have my, so I'm going to cut right here. And I hope that really this is helping you out. Me doing these details with you. And I just think if you're going to let's see here. I'm going to do this one at an angle just to see. That might have been a mistake. This here, I'm going to come this way. I'm going to follow that color pattern right there. And then here, we're going to come down here. hopefully this will work out. Oh, maybe, I don't know why I didn't do that one. Maybe I just forgot it. But I will put my grand peony back up there. And see. Oh, Daisy, stop. Come on, go see the boys. Come on. Sorry about that. I had little D in here with me and someone drove in and yeah, okay, so this one. So you can kind of see where this is going. And with this being the background, it is going to be interesting because it's going to be white. So we may have to change that over to and maybe I shouldn't have taken all of these out. Maybe I should have just made a slice, an individual slice. But I can always cover that background. So I'm going to, let's try this. It's just an experiment here where we will see. This is the tricky part, okay? And we will figure out. So this one comes over next. Because remember, it's every other. And I think we are going to have to slim this one down. And then we have, so we have 1, 2. This is where it gets, let's see, the bench was down here. So this one I have to cut. No, I don't have to cut that. All right. So this is where that bench is going to be there. Let me get this off of the book. Might work out better. So this is where you're just going to have to fool around with it and see your over and under. So we have to get this one up over. So we're going to have to go under. We're going to have to go over. And this is where your patience really comes into play. So these all go under and over, okay? And then this is where you're going to decide where you want your, and then these would go right here like this. Okay, and then these little ones would tuck under, so I would make a little slit. That would go under. This one has to go over. So this is where I'm going to have to cut this a little bit more. And I think I will just do this with my scissors. Yeah, I did not go beyond. Sorry, I hope my head's not in the way. Probably is. So this goes over like this. There, so that goes over. Now, see, that's going to cover up the entire Steinway. Oh no, if we put it down like this, this is going to go over. and that goes under. So okay. So what I'm going to do is, I do like that because I see the Steinway, or do I want, no, because if that goes this way, that is supposed to fit into there. I could cut that a little bit more, this little section here. You just have to play with these things. And I will tell you, you cannot rush collage art. Just like any art, you don't want to rush it, because if you have an idea how you want it to come out, you're going to want to take your time with it. So I'm going to, I have to just trim here and a little bit more up here, and I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll be right back. All right, so let me show you what I did. So I did every other, as you can see, okay? It looks really odd, like I've skipped 2 here, but I haven't. It's just that I think it narrows up here towards the bottom. So at any rate, what I did, I had white space here and I didn't like it. So all of the little pieces that I had cut, all right, I glued back down in, and that completed the page. Otherwise I would have had to weave it in. So that was really no big deal. So we're going to get this down now on the page over here. Let me raise this up just a tad, okay? And again, I'm going to glue this down on the outside. So there we go. Okay, there's that. These I will kind of come over because I want these to really, I don't want these flapping around where I cut them and glued them back on. I'm trying not to get any glue on the front of the page because I don't want any glue on the front of my pretty little page here. And I'm just going to get this all covered up here. And I think that will be that will work out just fine. Okay. All right, so there is our background. Okay, isn't that fun? With the musical instrument and the window or door. So you've got your piano here. So, I mean, it would have been lovely just putting the piano on top, but again, this just adds a little more oomph to it, something different. I did cut out the picture here. And again, I'm just going to set this on top right here. I don't need to have that woven through. I just want to make the effect with the weave with the piano. So we're going to put this right here like that. And then we have our gal here, and she is going to be right on this piano stool like this. And again, I want her front and center, so there's no need to weave her. Of Roger Federer on the back here. And I'm going to put her right here like this on that piano stool. Okay. And then we have our stamp, which is going to be her face. So we're going to put this right here like that. Okay. A lot of parts to this collage, isn't there? But isn't it fun? And then when you do something like this, you can say, I did that. Look at that. I did that. And then we have our something stenciled and with blue ink. So we're going to put this, I think, right down around here like that to finish this off. And I think that'll be really pretty. So much better than my other monstrosity I created. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm not even going to tell you. It was a good idea. I had a really cool window. I had a saxophone. I had a woman standing. Well, she came with the window. Buy one, get one. So if you bought the window, you got the gal. But it just, the other one just did not work out at all. All right, so we have that there. And then we have this one on the bottom. I'm going to glue this down over here. Use my desk. This is a little more floppy, and I don't want to break any of the pretty little flowers. So if you can't see me, I'm still here. I'm just gluing. There. Oh, now I feel better. Now I feel complete. Now I feel complete. I felt really bad. I thought, oh, I can't do another collage. But I thought, you silly girl. I have all week to do it. There. So that is it. Yay. It is done. I hope you enjoyed the process. I really enjoyed teaching you the process. I think I taught you. Nice little tutorial. So let's go over this one last time. I just really like this. I think it was fun. It was imaginative. It worked out really well. So we have a window or door, which we have our slatted blinds. We have a window here, something stenciled, which is our flowers, blue ink right here, a musical instrument. We have our Steinway and we have our violin, and then we have our postage stamp. So that is it for this week, my dear friends. I hope you enjoyed this collage. If you did, I'd love to have you give me a thumbs up, comment, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel. So thanks, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll see you down the road. Bye-bye.